But hopefully we get some more people back from break real quick because they're about to miss some great content here. I want to start by saying, first of all, thanks for bringing me out again. This is 2 years in a row. You love it when you get invited back. That means you did something right. But the second piece of that is 4 years ago, almost to the day, I walked into a room with 10 people in it, and there was a guy named Rene Rodriguez in this room, and he taught me how to frame a story and tell my story. I'd never been on a stage before. I'd never written a book. I hadn't done any of those things. That was the catalyst that put me to where I am right now. So we'll get into that a little bit later. But today we're going to talk about adversity, something that I've been considered, people have told me I'm a thought leader in. I don't know if that's a compliment or not. You know, you have thought leaders, Renee in neuroscience and framing of stories, and Neil in the marketing world, and several other thought leaders will be on stage today. But I've become a thought leader in adversity, how to handle it, how to turn it into something else. So today we're going to work on reframing what our definition of adversity is. See, most people run from adversity. So what if your whole life you had it wrong? What if your whole life, the one thing you were running from is the thing you should have been running towards, the thing you should have been using to build a bridge to get you from where you are to where you want to go? See, sometimes the lessons we need to receive come during a life-altering moment. So I'm going to say that again if you want to write it down. Sometimes the lessons we need to receive come during a life-altering moment. Mine came in a hospital bed. October of 24, I started feeling very sharp pain in my rib cage and into my chest. If you want to see people move fast, bring a 50-year-old man into an ER and say chest pain. These people moved faster than I'd ever seen. I spent the next 5 days in a hospital bed with no diagnosis. My heart was fine, pancreas was fine, kidneys were fine, everything was fine. They could not figure out what was wrong with me. My first night in the hospital, the guy in the room next to me, they called code blue. He did not make it. The next morning, I was woken up to another code blue on the guy on the other side of me. He didn't make it. At that moment, I got out of the bed and I got on my hands and knees. And I said, God, if you will get me out of here, I'll do everything I can for the rest of my life to impact people, even more so than I was doing before. And I crawled back in bed. And what happened next was very profound. Somewhere between the Dilaudid I was on and the conversation with God, I started taking notes. So I spent the next 3 days writing notes and trying to define what adversity really meant to me and the things that I'd been through, because if you know my history, you know that I'm the son of a drug addict, right? I was born with a limb difference. I'm a survivor of infant loss. But I have a lot more of those adversities that have gone along the way. I have won a few times along the way. But the adversity, I had let it define me for so long. So as I'm scrolling through my Remarkable, I come up with what I call the adversity paradigm model. Now, I know we have all these models and blueprints and everything else, but I'm going to walk you through something that helped me get out of that bed and put my feet on the floor and leave that hospital, okay? So the first mindset in that model is the victim mindset. It's happening to me. That's the first thing I could think of as I was laying in that bed. At the time, I had a 10-month-old son at home. That's right, I'm now 53 and I have a 2-year-old, but I had a 10-month son at home. And all I could think about is I was not going to be there for him. It's happening to me. Why am I in this position again? So as you look at the things, the adversity maybe you went through even today on the way here, the traffic lights, why is this happening to me? We got to get rid of the victim mindset to understand adversity is a building block for our success. Too many of us today walk around with our head held down. We're still talking about the COVID years, the big things, right? All these things we did and all these loans we closed. And now we're in the victim mindset. Why did this market happen to me? Why did this happen? Why did this relationship change? Why did these things happen? The victim mindset is like nowhere we want to be. Do we all know that victim though? The person who's been a victim their whole life? If they would just change the switch a little bit, things would be a lot different for them, right? Yeah, that was me. I looked at it a lot. It was a lot, why is this happening to me? The next mindset, survivor mindset. It's happening around me. Well, it's controlling my environment, but I'm surviving. I got 3 leads today. I'm surviving, right? I made it home today. I'm surviving. I survived the downturn. I survived the mortgage apocalypse in 2008, so I can survive this. But again, we're stuck in a place where we're not figuring out a way to use the adversity for our growth. When you go to the gym, how do you get the most growth? By the most adversity, right? The more I try to fail, the more I grow. So again, I'm laying in bed and I'm writing these things down. And again, I know it was 50% God, 50% Dilaudid. I'm not gonna lie to you. Dilaudid was hitting just right. But it slowed me down and made me think clearly and have more of an understanding of what maybe, why was I put in these situations? Why? I could sit here and be victim mindset all I want and say, gosh, you've been picking on me since the day I was born. Since the day I was born, you're picking on me. But the survivor mindset can push you through there, but it's a false pretense. Like I survived it, but next time I might fall to be a victim. The next mindset's warrior mindset. It's happening for me. And I know we've all heard that, right? Like my guy Ed Milet, who I look up to, who I love, he's like, it's happening for you, not to you. Well, I can tell you something. When I lost my son, it was not happening for me, brother. Okay? That shit happened to me. But when I look back on that now, I can say to myself that I would not be where I am right now and able to deliver a message to maybe one person in this room who needs to hear this to change the trajectory of their day and understand that the victim's no longer gonna work, the survivor's no longer gonna work, and a warrior's who I need to become to realize I'm more than I walked in this room today, right? More than I learned and more than things I need to accomplish. So the warrior mindset. I love to be a warrior. You see me with the film High Rocks, right? Like that's the hardest competition you can do, one of the toughest competitions you can do in the country. And I did it at 53 years old with one arm. Not because I'm an athlete, just because I'm a weirdo. I like to push myself and be a warrior. Like I think in some, like like sometimes people say, oh, you came back this way. Like maybe I lost my arm in a battle earlier. That was pretty cool. AI with one arm though, by the way. Like I've been trying to get an AI guy to do one arm for years and I haven't been able to get it. So I was hoping I had 2 arms because I had some other jokes, but we'll let that one go. But warrior mindset. But I can't walk around as a warrior all the time, right? I can't walk around and want to fight all the time. I can't always say, well, these things are happening. This is adversity. This is going to happen next. It's happening for me. It is happening for you. But only if you believe the next mindset. Only if you believe the next space. Because this is the next space that I jumped into with both feet. And it took me from my dream job sitting in a glass office to being on stages and speaking all over the country to being an international best-selling author to texting Neil Dinger about 600 times to try to get on the Forward event if anybody's there and I see him in the back. But I literally have texted Neil Dinger 600 times to try to get on there. But warrior mindset transfers into what's next. Yes, sir. There you go, bro. 6:13 tonight. Hope you're ready. So, architect mindset. It's happening through me. So think about this. I've got all this adversity. These things are stacking up on me. I'm not sure what to do next. In the mortgage space, obviously, we've had so much of that. What if I took all this adversity and I became a foundation for what I believed that I needed to do next? What if it became the bridge to get me from 2 loans a month to 10 loans a month? And I started understanding that it was more than just someone saying no. It was a lesson for me to learn to get better, right? Architect mindset, that's how we build our future. It's how we build on something else. Who in this room is an architect of their own business, right? But how often are you letting it fall back to a victim mindset? Oh, so you get in Redder, right? And I was the worst. I'd pull up Redder and I'd go, oh, I thought we were really tight. She closed 7 loans last quarter with somebody else. Everybody feel that? And then you get in that victim mindset and all of a sudden you stop doing what you're supposed to do. The architect mindset, it's happening through me. It's happening to make me stronger, bigger, faster, whatever that is, to get to that next spot. Because I don't know anybody that's had massive success in the real estate or mortgage space that doesn't have the story of falling on their face, being a victim, understanding to be a survivor. But how different would it be the next problem that comes across your desk tomorrow and you say, hey, you know what? I'm gonna map this through the adversity paradigm and I'm gonna figure out how to get to this thing faster. How different would the adversity be tomorrow? Instead of the reaction that we normally have, right? I'm really bad in traffic, by the way. Like I should do better in traffic. But I'm a victim in traffic, and then I'm a warrior and a survivor, and I drive a Hummer. So I feel bad for the people around me. But in our business, you get that text message tomorrow, and that client says, I'm gonna go with somebody else. I know you did the pre-approval on Saturday at 10 p.m. and I got my offer accepted on Sunday, and my family's really gonna like the house. How quick could we go to a victim mindset there, right? How different would it be if we decided to go back to an architect and figure out how we could build off that downturn, the thing that happened? There's a lot more we can go to from there on that. But what I'm gonna take you to next, I don't have a timer here. Do we have a timer, guys? Any idea? Anybody? Oh, there it is, okay, because I can go for at least, yeah, anyway, that's perfect. All right, so architect mindset's happening through me. I know that's got me where I am today, standing on the stage in front of you. But here's one of the keys along the way. The adversity accelerator. The adversity accelerator, I believe, is my key to the success I've had over the last couple of years. I put myself in tough positions, physically and mentally, to make sure I'm ready to go for the next time life throws a curveball at me. Yours may be public speaking. You may hate to speak in public, so maybe you should do more of it. But think about it this way. This picture you see right there was in Dallas, Texas, as I was competing in what they call the sandbag lunge portion of this fun event called Hard Rocks. It's 7 rounds in there. I've got a 40-pound sandbag on my shoulders. Right after that picture, and my camera guy's here today, he put the camera down for a second. He missed this whole thing, so he should be fired probably. But I did a lunge, and the sandbag shifted. And I fell face first into the turf. And I'm laying on the turf. 17,000 people are there competing. And I'm laying on the turf with a sandbag strapped to my back. People are coming over, the paramedics come over, do you need my help? And one guy's like, can I take your shoes off? I'm like, that's super weird, you're not taking my shoes off? I don't even know why you would ask me that. And I'm laying there, and all I can think about is, this is another notch for the adversity accelerator. So the next time something happens bad or shows up, I can go, you ain't got shit on me. I did the sandbag lunges at High Rocks, and I fell and I got up. Right? What are you doing in your business to put you in those situations where you can handle the tough stuff that's coming? What does that look like? And I can tell you the simple things that I did when I was in LO and in leadership is I role played a lot. Not because I wanted to sound like a scripted crazy man, because I can't go off script unless I have a script, but I was prepared for the rejection. I was prepared for the things, right? But again, for me, it comes down to the physical challenges. I'm the guy that gets in the cold plunge. I'm the guy that does those things. I did this thing called David Goggins challenges where I ran 4 miles every 4 hours for 48 hours. And because I turned 50 that week, I did 2 more miles. Again, why? Well, thank you, but I did it because the next time life threw a curveball at me, what could I say? You got shit on me, man. I did David Goggins challenge, right? Right? Customer blows up. You don't have anything on me. I did 100 talk tos this week, right? I did 20 open houses. I did whatever it took to accelerate the adversity to get through it. It closes the gap. It narrows it on what we need to be. The adversity accelerator. What could you do? I think the first thing is write down some stuff that scares you. Write down something that scares you about your business that you don't like to do, and do more of that. That'll prepare you for that turn or that thing that you need to do next, okay? So the next model I go through is this, and this is one of the fun ones here. It's called the adversity backpack. Everybody has one. Everybody has one. You've had it on your whole life. Every bad thing that's happened to you, every struggle, anything that's ever happened in your life. Time the kid pushed you off the monkey bar in third grades, the kid stole your bike, people that didn't invite you to the party. It's all in there. How's it affecting the way you're showing up? What's it doing to you? How heavy is it? I don't know about you, but my backpack's full. Like I need an extra carry-on when I take it to the airport. It comes with me everywhere I go. When was the last time you were going to pick up a phone call somebody, or go talk to somebody you've never talked to before, and you thought about what was in that backpack? That last painful no you received. The last time someone told you weren't good enough. See, in my adversity backpack, there's a kid named Middle School Chris. Middle School Chris is a dick. Middle School Chris was 5'4", about 170 pounds in 8th grade. He was picked on, he was made fun of, and he shows up on a regular basis to tell me how good I'm not gonna be today. We were back there talking earlier, actually, right before I came out. Who's that person in your life? What's the thing in your past that's showing up in that backpack that's slowing you down from getting where you want to go? I was interviewed earlier today. Someone asked me, one thing you can tell loan officers for 2026 that'll change what they're doing. It's belief. It's belief, man. Do you believe you can get where you want to go? Do you believe the numbers you wrote down at the beginning of the year on a piece of paper on a goal you wanted to accomplish are real? Do you believe that you have what's in you to get there? So here's what I do with my adversity backpack. When I realized it was holding me down and slowing me down and keeping me from making those decisions and being brave, right? And standing out and asking to get on stages and DMing people and texting my guy Neil 200 or 612 times. I started putting in my backpack what I call receipts. Receipts. Things to prove Middle School Chris wrong. What receipts are you holding on to? What is it? What is that tough strategy you put together for somebody? What is that thing you overcame when you were a kid? What is the thing that separates you from somebody else in this room? Receipts, baby. Receipts, because I got a lot of them. Like, this backpack is full of receipts. So now, when Middle School Chris shows up, I unzip my backpack. I got my receipts waiting. I pull them out. I got times where I did things nobody ever thought I would accomplish, right? Running a business, being a speaker, being a coach. But the receipts were proof, all the proof that I needed to put myself in a position to win. What receipts do you have? Think about that for a minute. What's the one receipt that you have right now you could put down, that you could take, would overcome if somebody called you on some stuff? Said, man, you're just not good enough, right? You're not a big enough name to get up here. Why would you write a book? Why would you get on a plane and leave your family and come here? What are the receipts? For me, I literally carry this receipt around on the back of my bag. I'll show you my number one receipt. Sorry. I got two receipts here. It's actually about 500 receipts in there, but it's my son, CJ. He's the guy that's with me every day, right? So I wake up every morning and I write down in my journal, CJ is my burn, and he's the reason why I'm gonna get on stage today and impact. But I know that CJ looks down on me and he's my most valuable receipt. He's the thing that I draw the most strength from. He was definitely something to do with me getting through the Dilaudid and the pain and everything that got through there. Now, some of you are probably going, why were you in the hospital? So I'm gonna release that to you real quick. I had a nerve disorder that was caused by stress from the mortgage business. Literally. Stress from a hurricane and the mortgage business all compiled at one time and put me into a state of shock where my vasovagal nerve that runs down the side of your body, a pain they couldn't replicate. From a CT scan to every test you could possibly imagine, right? But what did that do for me? Remember what I talked about? Sometimes the lessons we need, when do they show up? That's when it showed up. It was a lesson I needed at that moment to be able to get on stage and bring an impact to everyone here. So what do you have in your backpack? What's in your backpack? What are your receipts? What's something you're really proud of that's inside that backpack, right? Because I'm gonna finish off with something here real quick that is my prize accomplishment. It's in my backpack. This is from High Rocks, Dallas, Texas. See that? That's first place, baby. Yeah. That's first place in the adaptive men's division, High Rocks. I don't know how I won. I have no clue. I still don't know how I finished. But that's the adversity I put myself in to get where I needed to go. You're gonna leave here today with tons of notes and great things. And again, Renee's my guy, and Neil and all these guys. You got some great speakers coming up after me. But I hope that what you took from me today was this. Adversity can be a building block for success. It doesn't have to be a deterrent. It doesn't have to be something we run from, we hide from. Next time that pain-in-the-ass customer calls, why don't you answer the phone? Why don't you run to it, right? Why don't you run to it? Next time somebody says you're not good enough for my deal, you're not good enough to be my backup lender, you're not good enough to be who this person is, where's my receipts? What's the proof? What am I doing every day to put myself in a position to get stronger and better? What's my adversity accelerator? What is it? I have the same goal every time I get on stage, no matter if there's 5 people in the crowd or there's 1. It's to have one person when I'm done send me a DM or text me and say, put my stuff up here, sorry. Say, hey, that worked for me. I appreciate you. Right? So what's in your backpack? What's in your backpack? What's your receipts? Thanks for letting me get on here today and share. I've been fighting a cold nonstop because that little 2-year-old guy is always sick. If you got little kids, you know what I mean. But take in the rest of the day and enjoy it. There's some studs coming on stage after me that are going to bring even better content than me, but it was a pleasure talking to you today.